Welcome to my cooking space, the Hot Stock Pot. I'm Susan. I love to cook. I love to teach. So let's pick a recipe. Ooh, baked blueberry French bread. Oh, and don't ever be afraid to cook. The first thing we're going to do is take a serrated knife and we're going to attack on a loaf of Italian bread. We're going to cut it into 3/4 inch to 1 inch thick slices, preferably a little bit on the diagonal, like this. Now this is day-old bread, so it's just perfect. It's not too squishy. So we're just going to cut it a little bit on the diagonal, not like really on the diagonal, but okay. Then we're going to make sure you have a 9 by 13 inch baking pan handy, because that's what we're going to use. Actually, you're going to need 2 of them. So have one ready for the next step. Now this has to soak overnight, so we'll do kind of part 1 today and then let it soak all night in the refrigerator, and then we'll come back tomorrow, but we'll need a second 9 by 13 pan for that. So here's our 9 by 13 inch baking pan, and we're just gonna kind of put these in here. We're gonna nestle them all together, and they're gonna get all mushy with the stuffing that we're gonna make, or the soaking. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, so we can stuff them in. I'm determined to get another one in here. Just bear with me. Okay, maybe a little piece. All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna make the soaking liquid. I don't know what you call it. We're gonna crack 6 eggs. So crack 6 large eggs. I don't know, I love doing this. I don't know why. I get a feeling of accomplishment. All right, 6 eggs. See? All right, then we take 3/4 of a cup of whole milk and add it. Okay. Then we take some baking powder. I think it's 1 teaspoon. Hold on. Yes, 1 teaspoon. A little bit extra. All that does is make it fluffy. So a little teeny extra is okay. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla, real vanilla extract. Whoop. I love vanilla. It doesn't matter if you use extra, a little extra. Okay, then you take your whisk and you beat the heck out of this. Woo! Done. Oops. Yeah, the spoon doesn't go in this. Okay, then we take our bread slices from before. These things, they're not listening. Sorry, they're just not obeying. All right. And then we just pour this over. Try to cover everything. So a lot of times we forget to get the remaining stuff out of the bowls, and that makes me nuts because there's often a lot of times, a lot of extra in the bowl. So give it a scrape. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like, and then it's going to soak into the bottom and it's going to be delicious. So we're going to cover this with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator overnight. See ya later. Okay, so we just poured all the liquid in, and what we're gonna do is give it a second to absorb on the bottom, and then we're just gonna turn everything over just to make sure that the liquid, soaks in evenly. Just like that. Because this is what's gonna give the French toast a nice soft texture. All right, See how this one isn't even covered, so we want to smush it in a little bit and make sure it comes in contact with the liquid. All right, like that. Okay, and then this one too. All right. All right, so we'll just wrap this real quick and get it in the refrigerator, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back again through the magic of film editing. We are continuing. Let's go. So this has been soaking all night. Look at how nice that is. What we're going to do first is we're going to spray another 9 by 13 pan. Now, important to know, you can use a bigger pan, a baking dish. You can use a 10 by 15 pan too if you want to make more. I'm just making a little bit, and I had some of the Italian bread left over, but if you want to make a bigger portion of this, use a 10 by 15 inch pan and just increase the ingredients a little bit more, like use the whole bread and maybe a couple extra cups of blueberries and so on. You could just, it doesn't have to be precise. All right, so now we're going to spray this. So we sprayed our pan. Now we're gonna dump 4 cups of blueberries. They can be frozen. These are frozen wild blueberries, so they're small. You can use regular fresh blueberries. So there we go. Okay, so this is our blueberries. Now we can't just put the bread on top of this. We have to make a different kind of a sauce to keep it, make it nice and creamy. So what we have here is 3/4 to 1 cup of sugar, plain old sugar. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to kind of thicken up the mixture. And we're gonna use 2 teaspoons of cinnamon to add a little pizzazz. Again, you don't need to be exactly precise with this. You know, sometimes I add a little more cornstarch and make it a thicker sauce. And again, you know, if you're going to use the bigger pan, then increase the amounts a little bit. And then stir it up. Doesn't have to be exact. Just, you know, basically stir it up like this. And then we're just going to sprinkle it all over our blueberries. So now we're gonna take our toast, our bread, and we're gonna layer it over the blueberries, but the bottom side up. Okay, so you're gonna be kind of flipping it over. And it's very mushy, so be careful. So we flip it over so the wet, mushy side is facing up. All right, just make sure it's all in there. Now, what I have here is 6 to 8 tablespoons of regular butter melted. And I'm just going to take a pastry brush and I'm going to just, you know, coat the tops of all the bread. And this will give it a nice crispy, buttery topping when it bakes. All right, so I've buttered the top of all of these slices of Italian bread, and this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to pop it in the oven and let it become baked French bread. One quick thing, this will bake uncovered for 20 minutes at 425. Keep an eye on it. If it's starting to get too dark, cover it with a little piece of tin foil. See you soon. Alrighty, it's coming out of the oven. Nice and hot and bubbly and crisp. Woo! Look at this, folks. I can't tilt it too much because the blueberries are like molten liquid, but they're all cooked. And you know, you want to be careful cooking this because there is egg in here. So you want to make sure it's well done. You can hear the crunch. Isn't that nice? Woo! I can't wait to try this. Woo! All right, we're not done yet, folks. Hold on. All right, so this is how you serve it. Doesn't that look wonderful? And just, you know, because, and that's it. Whoa, look at this. Let's taste it. Oh. It's hot. Usually you should let it cool off. Very good. Just, you know, you can have this for breakfast or brunch or just for dessert even. Give it a try. See you next time.